Hello, welcome back. So today I'm going to have a look at the Tool Mini Table Saw. So I've ordered one, finally succumbed, and it's taken probably 2.5 weeks to arrive. So that's what I found with Tool before. The stuff arrives, but it does take a long time. They do send you an email with a tracking number, and you can see when it's been shipped from China to Oman or wherever it's going to go. But eventually it finally turns up. So this is the box that has arrived. I've taken the tape off, so let's see what's in it. The one I bought is the basic tool plus the extra pack of consumables, if you like. So what have we got? Brochure, that'll be some instructions. Power lead with a very nasty little plug. I don't like that little plug, but anyway, it looks like a UK plug, so that's useful. One bag of things, so you've got it looks like the tool that's on a long bungee is on there. Various other bits and bobs, look like sponges, sanding discs, all sorts of other little bits and bobs. Another one, again a sponge, sanding discs. Now I paid for the extra. I hope that's not the extra, because that's not very much. I would to have paid an extra 20 quid for, or whatever it was. So there's that. What else have we got? Screwdriver, and what looks like the little plate that protects you from getting stuff thrown into your eyes. Good. Power supply, looks like a computer power supply, and it says power on it. A little thing which I think is going to be the cutting fence, and then inside we've got the little thing itself. So let's pull it out of the box and have a look. Get rid of the box. And there we are. First impressions, apart from the fact that the thing falls out, first impressions are that it's a lot smaller than I was imagining. Okay, but it might do the job. So it fits nicely on the table. It's got some sticky feet on it, sticky-ish feet on it, so that's good. And various measurements that you can see there. I'll bring it so you can see it. And then this is clearly the bit where you can cut an angle. It looks like the blade comes up in the middle here, and then you can turn the angle on it to get whatever you want. So that looks alright. Presumably you can tighten that down. Yeah. Okay, and then presumably this bit fits on here somewhere, so that you've got a cutting fence. Oh, probably fits in there. There's two slots. You see those? I've done it again. Those two slots, and that's going to be able to move in and out. Okay, let's have a look in the packets. So I zoomed you in a little bit. Let's have a look what's in here. We know what's in there. That is, we open that up, a little furry thing for polishing, a sponge for, don't know, polishing, and then inside here there's another little bag, and in that bag, we open that up, we have got various little discs and things. So a bunch of sanding discs, not very many. Cutting wheel, looks like a standard sort of grinder. Cutting wheel. So I wonder if that looks like it's about the right size to go in here. So that's probably the main saw. Feels reasonably sharp. So presumably these cut so you can cut through metal and whatever else. And there's something that needs its own little packet. Okay, and that's a particularly sharp looking cutting wheel. So that's the little packet that comes with it. And then the big packet, we've got all sorts of things. Let's chip that lot out. We have one of the, it looks like a Dremel extension. I'm not sure how useful it'll be. Rather just use a Dremel, but and that'll probably fit in there. Investigate that later. A bunch more sanding discs, cutting discs. So that's the same as we got here. So we've got two sets of those. And then we've got a chuck for putting other attachments in. That's in there, that goes into that hole as well. And we've also got a final packet which has got little buffing discs and things in it, and little, well, very much looks like little Dremel tools, little grinding wheels and that kind of stuff. So that's going to go on there, and presumably going to go in here as well. Other sanding discs, and that's pretty much what's in there. So That looks interesting, and that'll obviously be, it's got sort of a velcro on it, so that's where these sanding discs will stick. So that's everything in the box. Let's try it out. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try and install one of the blades. There's various ones to choose from, so let's try this one with the little teeth, because I'm going to be cutting fairly small wood. Now there are some instructions, not particularly well done instructions, but there are instructions. So apparently you have to put your fingers in here and undo the little bolt, and I can feel the bolt and it is coming undone. And is it coming out? There we go, it's coming out, and there it is. So there's a little clamp with a bolt that goes through the middle of it, and then I install this. Now it doesn't say which way. I guess which way am I going to put the thing? Is it going to be going that way? I suspect I'm going to be cutting that way, so that they need to turn that way. So if I install that in from above, as it says, I can then see that it should engage on a thing, hopefully. Seems to have done. And then I can pop this back on. It's a bit fiddly. And do up the little screw, which seems to be working. It's a bit difficult to get your hand in, to be fair. So I'm doing that up now. And once that's done, I can hold it and I can get the little Allen key that comes with it. And I can put that in there, and I can do that up a bit tighter. Seems to work. A bit fiddly. Now, really struggling with that. I think I might have the wrong Allen key. I could only find one, but I've now found another little bag which has got all sorts of things in it. There's some ring nuts and an Allen key, a couple of Allen keys. So let's try those. Let's try the slightly bigger one first. Oh, this is a big old fiddle. Oh, hang on. Ah, now I found a hole in the end, and this seems to go through. And will it reach? Let's see. Perfect. That's how you do it. You do it up through this hole in the end. It doesn't say that in the instructions. But then it doesn't say much in the instructions at all. There we are. Okay, that's the blade in. I'm going to try this out just with the blade sticking out. I mean, this is pretty lethal. There's no obvious guards on the thing, and it's very, very easy if you've got something like that spinning to catch yourself on it if you're not being aware. So before doing anything, at least I'm going to put the fence on. So it looks like the fence goes like that. Got bolts with ring nuts on. They just come up through here. Okay, so I can set a depth of cut. I can move that side to side. Now there's nothing to keep it perfectly parallel. It moves from side to side as well, so you have to watch out for that. Okay, try a little bit of wood on it then. Again, there's still not much of a guard on that, but we'll go with it. So plug in the power supply in, and the switch was on. Plug in the power supply in, and on the power supply, and the power supply feels very light and not very expensive. Perhaps that's just me. You set the speed on here, so there's a range of clicky spaces. So let's try it on about number 3. We'll switch it on. Okay, it moves. Let's pull it where you can see it. And I've got a little bit of wood. I'm going to need a longer bit of wood. I've got a little bit of wood here, so we'll see if it cuts it. Well, it cut the wood, but you probably heard the motor's not really powerful enough. As I cut through it, the motor sort of went, and there's no real way of doing dust extraction on this either. I guess you could maybe probably put a hoover in the hole there. Let's try it on full speed. Let's see if that's any better. Yeah, well, that did feel better. That's felt like it wasn't dragging. So there is a form of guard on here. There's a little brass thing that screws into the top here, like that, and then this thing goes on the top and you do it up with this little screw. Now I think, I'm not sure what that's supposed to do, but it'll stop stuff flying up into your face. But nah, not sure it's that much use. So let's just take it off for now, because next I want to have a look at this. So this is the thing that looks a bit like a Dremel on a stick. Now it has a little connector on the end, which I've already put. There's a little grub screw you have to do up to put that on, and that then connects into one of these holes. If I can find the right one. Is it that one? There it fits into that hole, and then you have to do up some more grub screws, and there's a hole in the bottom there, if you can see it, where you can put an Allen key through. So I've got a decent set of Allen keys. The ones that come with it are not very good. That's the one. So this goes in, of course. Right, let's do these up, a couple of these little screws. Now that's a bit of a fiddle faddle to do, but it's done. Now the next thing, and really if I was thinking about it, I should have disconnected the power lead. Yes, that's not a safe thing to do. Disconnect the power lead before messing about with any of those things. Now, obviously I can put one of these little things into this, and there's a bag full of them here. There's a whole range of things from like grinders, sanders, polishers, you name it. So if I can get the bag open, I will put one of those in. Just put one of these little grindy wheels in, and basically you do it up. You stick, there's a little hole in it, you stick something in the little hole, and that holds the shaft steady while you do it. It's just finger tight, you can do it. Okay, now I've left the blade in, and the temptation is always to just leave the blade in because it's such a fiddle to take it out. If I switch it on, well, that's working. See, I can grind away with that. But all the time I'm using that, this blade is spinning. Now, having already lost a finger once, it's a little bit alarming, because we're all human. The temptation is just to leave that blade in, but really you want to take that blade out when you're using this attachment. So another sort of safety issue there, I would say, with it. Okay, let's move on to the other tools. Now on this side of the unit there's a slightly bigger shaft which this thing fits onto. So again, it's a little grub screw, got the right one, and we use the grub screw to tighten it. Now in this case you can't get to the grub screw because it's behind the metal. There is a hole in the metal, but the grub screw's right in the middle. Can I reach it from here? Just about reach it from there, from the hole underneath, but it's not ideal. And you get, it's a standard looking chuck, so again you can presumably put any of these things on it. What we can do is try the slightly bigger one, which is this. So this is sort of this has got Velcro on it, and this is for sort of, let's find a suitable Allen key to do it up. This is for putting the sandpaper and that kind of thing on, so I'll do that up like that, and then I should be able to pop that in there. And then just like a normal chuck, there's a chuck key somewhere that I've seen, there it is, in this little bag. And we can do that up, and that's on there. We can grab a little bit of sandpaper, piece 600, this one, piece 400. What else have we got? You don't get much sandpaper with it, I'll say that. 120, you get like 2 pieces of 120, and double that if you pay for the extra. And that Velcro's on there. Plug it back in, Now again, the blade's left spinning. So, well, that didn't work at all, did it? As soon as I switched it on, the little screw came undone and it fell off. Now that tightened it up. Let's try again. Oops. Put that in again. Do up the screw. Okay, let's do it as tight as we can this time. It's only plastic, so if I tighten it much tighter it will break. Okay, let's try again. Let's try it on the slower speed so it doesn't fly off. Okay, now it's running. So we'll try it. Okay, it does sanding. Reasonably good. You don't get a lot of sandpaper with it, but it's reasonably good, and I don't know where you get these kind of discs from either. Whether you have to get them from the manufacturer, I do not know. But that works. You have to be careful to tighten it up though, otherwise it comes undone. So there's that tool. Now while I've been messing about, what I've noticed is there's something wrong with the power supply connector. Can you see that? It's all wobbly, and in fact it's coming out. It's obviously, and it looks like the little clips have been broken. So during manufacture, someone's obviously bashed these in really quickly, and there's no quality control on it. That's a bit of a worry. And the switch also is sticking out. So it looks like the same thing's happened to the switch. Someone's bashed it in the hole to get it out quickly, and there's no quality control. So that switch is dodgy. So I think what I'll do is take the top off and have a look, see if I can fix that. So now, having taken the 4 screws out here, I can lift the top off and have a look inside. And in fact, all you've got is a dirty great DC motor by the looks of it. One end of the shaft comes out to drive the ore extra little thing. One end goes onto a belt which drives both the spinning blade and also the little thing at the end. So there's not a lot to it. Some wires, the switch, and a bit of metal. So for the price, you're not really getting a great deal. You're getting the design and a low power motor, but not all that much. Right, I'm going to fix the power supply. In fact, zooming in closer here, see this switch? You can see it's not seated properly. It's not been put in properly. So that's loose. It's just been thrown together in some sort of haphazard way, which is disappointing. So also, if I zoom in down here now, you can see they've actually broken the switch locator pins here by cramming it in. They've also broken the locator pins on this power supply down the bottom. That's why it's not in. So I thought there'd just be there's normally like a little screw you can do it, but this is not. This is just, it's been broken. So on balance, take into account the fairly rubbishy extras. We take into account the stuff that's not very good. The fact that the sanding disc thing just came undone when I tried to use it. The fact that this extra thing is okay, it doesn't really do much, and it's a fiddle to actually attach it. You've got to mess about with Allen keys through holes and try and fix it in. And also, because it runs at the same time as the blade's running, if you don't take the blade out, potentially you've got something dangerous. And you've got this on a long stick and you're doing something, and meanwhile there's a blade rotating, and that's potentially dangerous. Most people aren't going to bother taking the blade out, and you've got a potential point of injury there. So not that happy with that. Take into account that the switch is bust and the power socket isn't right either. All in all, I think I'm going to send it back, and I'll do that, and I'll report back on whether they actually accept it. So it's been a while now. I contacted Seika, I sent them an email, they sent one back. It took a while, it took about 3 or 4 days, and then they sent one back saying, send us a video of the problem. So I took a little video of the broken thing and I sent it to them, and I've heard nothing since. I think it's been about a week. Now, in my book, that's pretty poor customer service. I'm beginning to wonder whether I'm actually going to get my money back at all. Now, that starts to ring a few alarm bells. Some of the stuff I've had from Seika, well, the one thing I've had from Seika has been good. But this one, not really. The quality, I wouldn't say it's very good. If really you want something like this, probably if you want a table saw, I think the best thing to do is to buy a table saw. If you want a Dremel type thing, buy a Dremel. They're designed for the job and they'll do it better. If you want, and the little thing with the spinning discs on didn't really work anyway, and you can buy nice little sanders for not very much money, so I would recommend buying the individual tools. This one has been a bit disappointing and the customer service is pretty atrocious. I've left it. I've threatened to get trading standards involved, so let's see what happens there. As of now, I've not got my money back. It's sitting in a box and I'm down 100 quid, so make of that as you will. Thanks for watching. I hope that was useful. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and maybe I'll see you next time.